How's it going, guys? It's your boy, Big Blue Drew 97 here to talk to you for the last time about Nanatsu no Taizai, the 7 Deadly Sins. So yeah, this is the final chapter, the end of the 7 Deadly Sins, not just as a series, but as a reviewing series on this channel. It's very sad, it's very unfortunate, but I enjoyed the ride. Little brief summary of how I got into the 7 Deadly Sins is probably how many people got into the Sins, through the anime, and I thought it was very beautiful, I thought it was amazing, and it cuts off with season 2, how, if we all who've seen it, Meliodas dies, gets resurrected when we first learn about the curse on him, pretty much, and then after that, just realizing, hey, I want to read more of this, and it's been like, because I've been a fan for like pretty much like a year or two, caught up to the manga during Christmas break, was hooked on it, really did enjoy it. In actuality, a YouTuber named Sunpatch also got me into it, so and it's also the reason why I decided to start the channel and do manga reviews. So it has been a big influence on me as a person and as like just being on this platform, because it allowed me to, you know, start this YouTube channel. So I'm always gonna have an attachment to it. So a little bit less of that sappy stuff, but we actually do have like a little message from the mangaka of Nanatsu no Taizai named Nabuku Suzuki, and it's just like he has just a first panel just explaining like how much enjoyment he's had writing it for like the past 8 years. So relatively speaking, as a shonen manga, 8 years ain't nothing. Like, I'm like, if going through that logic, like My Hero may last like longer than that, so hopefully it stays on track. But like, even with that, they've gotten like over 300 chapters. He basically talks about like how much fun he was having, like all the hardships that he had. Apparently he had to do a lot of writing when he was in the hospital one time, so he seems like a very like fun person with like what he has written in this basically like a blog format, even though it's in a magazine, which, yeah, it's fine. But he also gives like a little bit of a tidbit of like, oh, but I have something that I want to show y'all towards the end of this chapter. Ooh, I wonder what it is. Spinoff. It's a spinoff. I'm not gonna try to like last long. It's a spinoff. So even though I'm not going to be reviewing the 7 Deadly Sins, most likely I will be reviewing his new spin-off series, which, if I remember correctly, it's called, oh yeah, The 4 Nights of the Apocalypse. I enjoy that name so much. Like, as someone who's like somewhat religious and knows about like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, it fits as a sequel series to the 7 Deadly Sins. They literally have to face the 10 Commandments. Literally, it takes place during the time of Renaissance, allegedly during the age of King Arthur. So it just makes sense that the sequel series would be that. Well, it's still a working title, but I really hope it keeps it. So even though this may be the last review of the 7 Deadly Sins as a manga chapter, hopefully I'll be able to, if the series gets up, be able to read his new series, because I really did enjoy the 7 Deadly Sins. So with all of that out the way, let's get started with the manga chapter review for this final chapter of Nanatsu no Taizai. Now, start off the chapter like proper. We get like a panel of a very beautiful color panel of the 7 Deadly Sins, all like standing together. We see all of them in like their like strongest forms, and we then see the lone Escanor, the man, the myth, the Chad Escanor himself, just standing on a pillar by himself, like still being a part of the Sins, but also being symbolic of the fact that he is no longer with them. So, and there's like, and it just hammered in, a ray of light coming from the heavens is shining on Escanor. The sun itself praises Escanor. He burns brighter than the sun. Praise Escanor, praise the sun, who is Escanor. So yeah, it was just it's a very nice, very beautiful cover page, and a great way to send off the 7 Deadly Sins. Afterwards, we see Tristan. You remember Tristan last chapter? We met him for the first time, right? Oh, no, I forgot. He was inside of his mother, so we cut like allegedly, it's been around 9-10 10 years. So Tristan is like around 9 years old right now. She's running through the capital, and you can tell the resemblance that he is Meliodas' and Elizabeth's son. Not the fact that like his eyes are different colors, and not even just white hair, but just the face. The face just screams Meliodas and Elizabeth. So he's a very, very adorable child. And he's apparently running from the guards, and we immediately like see him like run to like this little pack of children, and he's basically like telling them that he needs their help. And they're all like, what's going on, Tristan? What are you doing? And he's like, I've uncovered a plot. I'm gonna try again. I've uncovered a plot. The 7 deadly sins have apparently come to the kingdom to try to take it over again. It's horrible. Oh my gosh, the 7 deadly sins. And all of the kids are just looking at him while he's like saying, yeah, and I'm being chased by bad guys. So shh, be quiet. We have to go save the kingdom. Are you with me? And all of the other kids are just looking at Tristan like, what are you talking about? I mean, he basically just goes to this like, yo, the 7 innocents are after me. Come on, let's go. They're going to destroy the kingdom, but I'm not going to let them. And he starts recollecting about the 7 deadly sins. And it's weird because we see like a vision of like what he views the 7 deadly sins are. And I also have to come to the realization, yeah, that's not the 7 deadly sins. That looks nothing like them. Like, you can't even, like, pinpoint who it could possibly be. Like, you think, oh, the giant one is probably about Diane. But there are, like, 2 different giants. And you can't really tell who it is. And he just basically is going on and on and on about the evils of the 7 deadly sins. They're going to take over. And the kids just aren't having it. And he says that he's going to save the kingdom because I am the prince. No, a holy knight. We're going to capture them. And the kids are just looking at him like, you're stupid, Tristan. We got to go. We got dinner. And he just is like, wait up. Come on. It's very important. Oh, they left. Well, I guess I have to do it myself. And we just see him just alone. And then after that, we see him try to sneak into the castle, which I still find hilarious because it's like you're sneaking back into your home and you're gonna fight the 7 deadly sins, and we get like pure confirmation that Tristan is definitely Meliodas' child, because even though he is small and tiny, he turns somehow into a more chibier form of himself. But unfortunately, he immediately gets caught. Who does he get caught by? He gets caught by his mom. Who else? Moms catch you doing everything. Your mom knows what you did. My mom knows what I did. But anyway, yeah, he gets trapped by Elizabeth, who, relatively speaking, after like 9-10 years, still looks good. And it's basically asking, like, what are you doing? We've been looking all over for you. And, like, just the pure child that he is, being smothered by his mother, jumps away, and it's like, I'm here to stop the sinners. And this is the first time we ever get the sins be called sinners. It's a weird phrase. I'm not sure if this is the official translation that they're going to go with, but I just find it hilarious that the sins are sinners, those who sin. Which is even more ironic because technically really none of the sins actually did the sin that they were accused of. To the extent that they were persecuted. So I just find that hilarious. But Tristan is basically going on the rampage. It's like, wait 1 second. Oh no! How are you able to find out about this? Oh no! Let's go, mother! Just being like a little kid. And it's like, come on! It's like, I know what the sins are gonna do. Come on, follow me! And then all of a sudden he comes to the realization that, like, the sins are there. Or not come to realization, but Elizabeth basically tells him that the sins are here. And we get a great panel of the sins appearing. The 7 deadly sins. We see Diane. We see Bond. We see King. We see Meliodas. And hey, look, we see Gother. And actually, a little tidbit that I learned about Gother. Not sure if you know this, but you should. Gother was a demon. And the Gother that we know is a doll. And just something that I forgot or don't remember. Gother was made in the image of Gother, the demon's, like, former lover. But he was made to be a little bit more masculine because Gother didn't want to, like, have sexual urges for Gother. So, when I learned that information, it makes a whole lot of sense why he cross-dresses. Just a little bit of tidbit that I learned doing a little research on this. Tristan realized the 7 deadly sins are behind him, and just all of the sins, for the most part, just like swoon over Tristan. Diane and King are like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. King was like, but he's not as cute as our kid. So we get confirmation that King and Diane have a child. Let's do a count of how many children are going to be like from The Sims. You have Meliodas and Elizabeth's a child. You have Bon and Elaine's child, and apparently Diane and King. That's 3. Remember when I told you about that spin-off series about being the four horsemen of the apocalypse, basically, or like I'm sorry, the 4 knights of the apocalypse. We just need one more kid to round it off to 4. But yeah, basically everyone is swinging over him. Like you have Gother, who's like also like thinking that he's like very cute and like has like apparently great combat stats, which when you realize this, like he like is actually fast for a kid. So he immediately gets away from the Sins. And then you just have like Bon being Bon. It's like, he's a spirited type. And Meliodas is chastising him because he wandered off. And you just have Tristan basically explaining, it's like, I know what you sinners are doing. You're here to take over the kingdom. And you're gonna like just do all of these bad things tonight. And I'm here to stop you. You're gonna do a coup d'etat. And everyone is just like, all of this is just looking at him like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about, you little dumbass? And it's just like, just funny. And he even like brings up like Hindi-san and Hauser-san. It's like, they have my back and they'll help me defeat you. And as Meliodas would do, he leans into it heavily. He has the evil face, and he basically confirms like, oh, you figured it out, don't you? No, why would you do that? And it's like, yeah, but since you found out, I can't let you live. And Trisha just has this look of, dang it, I shouldn't have done this. Oh no, now I'm gonna die by you villains. And literally everyone knows that the Sims are great. Everyone's like, why didn't you tell him the truth? And Bod just laughs. It's like, should have done it. And like Meliodas is just like, I figured it'd be fun. And remember when I told you how Tristan has combat abilities? So he goes and attacks his father at full force, and his father just blocks it so easy. He's just like, I wonder if Elizabeth will let me touch her boobs right now. Oh, shoot, I'm being exacted. Okay. Nice job, Tristan. Tristan then elaborates that he's a holy knight and that he's going to punish Meliodas. And Meliodas just gets surprised. It's like, you want to become a holy knight? Okay. And he basically, oh gosh, this chapter is just so fun and wholesome. And it's just enjoyable. And then he tops, and then, oh yeah, I want to be a holy knight, Dad. Wait 1 second. You're not my father anymore. You're a villain. It's just so hilarious. All of the Sims are just enjoying it. And it's just really just fun, cute, wholesomeness. And then Tristan's like, I will never let you take on Leonis. Never. Now come outside and fight me. Fair and square. Elizabeth's just like, oh yeah, let's go outside. That's a really good idea. Everyone's like, in just agreement, like, yeah, let's go outside. And just Tristan's like confused, like, wait, what? What's going on? Come on, Tristan. Elizabeth's like, come on, Tristan. Everyone's going out. And like Tristan's just like so confused about what's going on. And then we see Bartra comes out with his assistant, the dude with the iron mask. He's like, oh, I'm coming true. Tristan's just so confused, like, grandfather, you too? And we see a big firework. Tristan's like, look out, it's just fireworks. Everyone yells out Tristan's name. And Tristan finally realizes, hey, happy 10th birthday! Everyone pretty much like we know, like the children that we saw a little bit earlier are like there saying happy birthday, so they were on it. We see Henderson there as well. There's like a fair amount of people in like the crowd, but they're all like chanting like Tristan names, like happy birthday! Oh my gosh, it's Meliodas, our grateful king, one of the 7 deadly sins. Oh, the 7 deadly sins are here! Oh my gosh, this is great! Oh, this is great! Happy birthday! And Tristan just has this moment of realization. It's like, as like, what? And like even Meliodas is like, Tristan, didn't you remember that it's your birthday today? You're 10 now. And then he's like, but he's supposed And Bond just chimes in and is like, dude, if your father was really a villain, do you think the country would love him as much as they do right now? Also, just look at him. Does he even look like a villain? And Trisha just looks like... And without missing a beat, I don't believe you. All of this is pretty much like pass out. And he's like, I won't be fooled. Specifically, Diana King just falling hit the ground. Everyone is just like, wow, this kid is dense. But what makes it even worse is what he says afterwards. And it's like, no, this can't be. My dad is a big drinker. He drinks a lot and he touches mommy's boobs. Even though I stopped drinking from them ages ago. Meliodas. And we all know he's he's a humongous pervert. But then immediately afterwards, just like all of that, nothing happens as what he wants. And he asks, do you want a sword? He's like, Trishan's like, no. And then Gother, being the smart one, is like, oh, I'll give you a special present. I'll give you a story of the 7 deadly sins. And we just see a panel of like a lot of like crucial moments for the 7 deadly sins. We see the fight with one of the 10 commandments. We also see their fight with Mael. We also get like flashbacks of them having fun. Like there's like a lot of stuff. We get flashbacks to like King Arthur. A lot of things involving Meliodas and Elizabeth, even Trishan's birth, which is weird because he has memory of his birth now, which is fun, but just basically like the story of the 7 deadly sins. And at the end of this panel, we see a tear fall off Trishan's eye. And just as a side tangent, I think this is just symbolism for not Trishan himself, but us as a viewer. And like how he views the 7 deadly sins story is probably similar how a lot of us view it. How like it was like a hurricane of stories with like ups and downs, great moments and horrible moments, and positives and negatives. And he just cries because he just finally comes to that realization. So if anything, he's just a representation of us as the reader. So also I was saying that he's now 10 now, so it's just very symbolic. So and I really do pretty much like enjoy like all the chapter up to now, and like this is probably the moment where you just come to realize that the 7 deadly sins are coming to an end. So with that, we see basically the aftermath of the party. Most likely the next day, Elizabeth, Meliodas, and Trishan are just going on a picnic, and they're just fighting. Trishan and Meliodas are fighting, and Trishan's just mad. It's like, I can't. He's just so mad at his own father. Meliodas is like, I can't believe that you thought we were villains. And Trishan just chimes in, well, yeah, but you lied to me. It's all your fault, father. And what is funny is that Meliodas is literally fighting with a stick. Not even a stick, like a twig branch. And it's like fighting his son while Trishan is literally using, like, it's not a real sword, it's a wooden sword. But he's just fighting with a sword and he's just moving all around. And just Meliodas is just like, yeah, we're just having a normal conversation. Like, you know, Elizabeth calls them to have the picnic. They start talking about the future. And Meliodas basically talks about like, yeah, you're gonna have a great future. I just know it. And Trishan's like, well, no one can tell the future. Actually, you're wrong. Your grandfather can. He definitely can. He literally foretold your birth. But like, the grand scheme of things, like, he also viewed that like, a lot of things, like he was gonna like basically die, the kingdom was gonna be destroyed. He foretold that, but that could change. But Meliodas then chimes in with the idea of like, yeah, but think of your future as the sky. It's ever expanding, never ending. Your future has so many possibilities. Your future is limitless. All you have to do is go with it. Like, that's basically what he says. And like, after like he hears that, he's like, it's basically your future's like the sky, ever expanding like the sky. And he just chimes in, and it's like, Trishan's like, I don't have to be king, right? And Meliodas is like, well, you can do something else if you want. It's like, oh yeah. Yeah, you can be a holy knight if you want to. That's fine. I don't care. And then Trishan then says like, I've already decided. Meliodas just looks back and is like, oh, what do you want to be there, son? And then he says that he wants to be one of the 7 deadly sins. End of the chapter. Ending of the 7 deadly sins with the 2 father and son holding hands, looking up at the endless sky as his son announces that he wants to be a 7 deadly sin. And that's where the chapter ends. And I just want to say this, Trishan, you're better off being a holy knight, because literally 7 deadly sins is literally filled with people who have had broken dreams, broken homes, just everything about their lives just fucked up to high heaven and back. You can do it, you just may have to do an atrocity and be strong enough to fight off death. But with that, 7 deadly sins. I think I gave a lot of my final thoughts and my final opinions of the 7 deadly sins in a previous video, but I make sure to redo it here because that was at the moment where I thought that chapter after that one was the pinnacle, but this is the final chapter. And if anything, I think this is kind of what I should have expected the 7 deadly sins to end on. Not end on something world changing. We shouldn't have seen all of the kids being together. We shouldn't have expected to see Merlin and Arthur because they're doing their own thing. We shouldn't have expected to even see all of the children. But what we should have expected is a wholesome ending. An ending that pretty much not just wraps up everything, but just gives everything just a little bit of levity, because pretty much for an entire year, within the story, 7 deadly sins go from being hated enemies to somewhat beloved to extremely beloved to literally fighting off the demon king, literally fighting off hordes of demons, and literally fighting the embodiment of chaos that creates the world, all within the span of a year, growing extremely powerful. And when it comes to what the 7 deadly sins stand for, they each have their own sin. Greed, pride, and they're all connected to something that has negatively affected them. Meliodas' wrath when he destroyed a city, when the woman that he loved was killed. Bond being accused of destroying the entirety of the fairy forest. Everything was built on misunderstandings, and those are just burdens that they had to live with. But once they finally were able to lift those burdens, they were able to get the lives that they truly wanted. King and Diane were able to get together. Fauna and Elaine were able to get together. Meliodas and Elizabeth were able to get together. It's a great story of how your burdens may define who you are, but you can always even if you carry those burdens, because they still technically have those burdens upon them, but you can always do something, or you can always better yourself to lighten those burdens so that you can live a life that you want, that you can live a wonderful life. And I think that may be the big thing with the 7 deadly sins, is that your burdens may define who you are, but in the end, you decide what you want to do with your life. And that's basically what happens. They carry their burdens, but they basically chose the future that they want to go down, and now at the end, they're basically all living it. We may not know exactly what they are, but they are living their best lives, and that's the lives that they chose. So, all in all, I think, as a whole, 7 deadly sins, it's not a perfect series. A lot of people bring up the fact that it should have ended long ago, and I do feel as if, when it comes to the story, that this, relatively speaking, is a short story when it comes to shonen. It could have been shorter. A lot of things could have been packed up neatly, especially during the war between the 10 Commandments and the 7 deadly sins. There was just a lot in there that if you're reading week by week, it could have been overwhelming. For me, I did binge a lot of it before going week to week, but a lot of it is a little bit, there are many aspects that either move too slow or too fast. Especially, a lot of people will probably bring up the fact that literally there was a chapter where we literally got debated, where we thought that Elizabeth died because we thought the curse was lifted, but apparently it wasn't, and she literally died. But look, the next chapter she was saved. We got trolled. If anything, being trolled by a mangaka and like blatantly in a manga. Like that overall, like a lot of people may not have liked it, but me personally, I loved it. And I think that's the reason why I continue with the 7 Deadly Sins and continue with the story, even though a lot of people may have dropped off of it. So, all in all, really did enjoy the story. It's not the best, but it's a good story. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I'm fairly certain that this is the ending that the manga wanted, and really, during this time, that's all you can really ask for. So, with that out of the way, like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you guys in my next video. Whether it's 7 Deadly Sins related, or My Hero, or the video that I'm planning, hopefully to release Friday, if not next week. So, with that out the way, catch you guys later.